They don't want you to wake up. Not because you're dangerous yet, but because if you did, you would become something they can't control. A weapon, a rebel, a human being. And that, my friend, is the last thing the system can afford. You are not free. You are not awake. You are asleep in a simulation so carefully designed. You call your chains comfort. You call your prison peace. You call your slavery freedom. And the worst part, you didn't build this trap. They did. Brick by brick, ad by ad, app by app, lie by lie. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy of reality, and once you see it, you'll never go back. Part 1. Mental slavery is real, and you're in it. Let's stop pretending. Most people walking around today are not alive in the real sense. They wake up, scroll, they work jobs they hate, come home to distractions they didn't choose. They numb themselves with dopamine, junk food, meaningless sex, synthetic relationships. They don't question, because questioning hurts. They don't rebel because rebellion is inconvenient. And they don't wake up, because slaves don't break their chains. They polish them, they dress them up, they brag about their Netflix subscriptions, their new iPhone, their safe little routine. But deep down, in the part they've buried, they feel it, that something is wrong, that they've been sold a life that isn't even theirs. It's not their fault, because mental slavery isn't enforced by whips anymore. It's enforced by algorithms, narratives, and fear. You are not being punished, you are being pacified. Part 2. The architecture of the trap. If you were going to enslave billions of people, would you use chains? No, you'd build a system where the slaves love their own enslavement. You'd give them toys, comforts, identities, distractions. You'd poison the mind before the body. And that's exactly what's happened. Here's how they built it. 1. The illusion of choice. You think you're choosing what to eat, what to watch, who to be. But every choice is preloaded, pre-selected, and pre-approved. Your YouTube feed isn't your taste. Your politics aren't your beliefs. Your desires are not even yours. They've been installed. You are a walking echo of other people's agendas. 2. The distraction loop. Finite scroll. Dopamine drip. Content. 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 We live in an attention war. And guess what? You're the battleground. They don't need to chain you down. They just need to keep you looking down. And as long as you're distracted, you'll never ask the real question, who am I without the noise? 3. The fear factory. They sell you fear. Every ad, every headline, every TikTok influencer pushing urgency. It's all designed to keep you in survival mode, because a scared brain is an obedient brain. When you're scared, you don't dream, you don't rebel, you submit. 4. Comfort is control. You're not being oppressed with pain. You're being sedated with pleasure. Endless food, endless porn, endless convenience, endless validation. All of it feels good, but it's poison. Comfort is the most elegant cage ever built, and the deeper you fall into it, the harder it becomes to leave. Part 2. This has all happened before. Let's get one thing straight. This is not new. Mental slavery isn't some 21st century invention cooked up by Silicon Valley. It's ancient, it's tested, it's a formula that's worked for millennia. Bred in circuses, fear and faith, chains and comfort. From Rome to the Reich to the screens in your hand, the method is the same. Keep the masses entertained, keep them fed, keep them scared, and they'll never ask why they're not free. Let's take a short walk through the ruins of mental empires. Ancient Rome, bred in circuses. When the Roman people began to wake up, when they started noticing the corruption, the injustice, the rot from within, what did the elite do? They didn't fight them, they didn't kill them, they distracted them. Free bread, gladiator games, drunken festivals. Give them cheap thrills and cheap food, and they'll forget they were once warriors. Sound familiar? You don't go to the Colosseum anymore. You scroll TikTok, you binge Netflix. You flood your brain with dopamine until your soul is numb. Different arena, same slavery. The Third Reich manufactured consensus when the Nazis rose to power. They didn't enslave with chains first. They enslaved with ideas. Propaganda, uniformity, repetition. They flooded the airwaves with what to think, how to feel, who to hate, until the average person became nothing but a vessel of someone else's ideology. They didn't need to brainwash everyone. They just needed to make disagreement dangerous. And here we are again. Cancel culture, censorship, fact checkers. You are not allowed to question the narrative without consequences. This isn't safety. It's mental totalitarianism with a smiley face sticker. Today, slavery 2.0. Algorithmic chains. They don't need to burn books anymore. They just need to bury the truth in noise. Endless opinions. Endless outrage. Endless updates. You are overstimulated, overfed, overentertained, and completely underpowered. You can't even hear your own voice anymore, because you're drowning in theirs. And the worst part, you think this is normal. Part 3. The illusion of freedom. Let me ask you something brutal. What if your freedom is just a costume? A mask handed to you by the same people who own your mind. You think you're free because you can post whatever you want online. You can order food in 3 clicks. You can pick from 500 shows. But ask yourself, Can you sit in a room with no screen and just be with your own mind for 10 minutes? Can you go 1 week without scrolling? Can you resist the urge to consume when you're bored, angry, lonely? If the answer is no, you're not free, you're addicted. And addiction is just slavery you agreed to. The perfect prison has no walls. The old prison had bars. The new one has notifications. The old prison had guards. The new one has influencers. The old prison punished rebellion. The new one convinces you that rebellion is cringe, outdated, selfish, and that's the beauty of it. You don't even realize you're in a cage, because you're too busy decorating it. You're too busy chasing likes inside it. You're too scared to ask if there's life beyond it. And that's exactly how they want it, because a prison you can't see is a prison you'll never try to escape. Part 3. Who are they? The puppeteers behind the curtain. Let's address the question screaming in your mind. Who are they? Who is this mysterious they pulling the strings? It's not just one government. It's not just big tech. It's not just corporate elites or politicians or think tanks. It's a system, a network, a mindset, a self-reinforcing machine powered by money, control, and fear. Let's break it down. 1. The corporate overlords. Their goal is simple. Keep you consuming. They don't care who you are. They don't care what you believe. They just want you hungry, insecure, addicted, and buying. Junk food companies engineer flavors that override your body's natural stop signal. Social media apps are coded to exploit your dopamine loop, like a slot machine. Clothing brands create fast fashion to keep you chasing identity through appearance. You are not a customer. You are the product. They feed you poison, physical and mental, then sell you the cure. 2. The narrative makers. These are the media empires, the influencers, the celebrities, the intellectuals. 4 higher. They don't report reality. They manufacture perception. Every headline is designed to control your emotional state, to keep you reactive, tribal, distracted, to make you argue with people who are just as enslaved as you are, so you never notice the hand holding your leash. If they can make you feel, they can make you obey. 3. The behavioral engineers, psychologists, coders, data scientists. They don't need to guess what you want. They already know. They know your sleep cycle, your insecurities, your triggers, your fears. They've studied how to get you to click, buy, scroll, obey. You are a rat in a lab, and the cage is invisible. This isn't surveillance capitalism, it's behavioral colonization. They don't just watch you, they shape you. For the deep to know, not the Illuminati or some secret brotherhood of lizards. I'm talking about systems of control embedded into education, economics, culture, and even language. You're taught what to value. You're graded on obedience. You're taxed for surviving. You're punished for rebellion, not physically, but socially. If you try to break out, they call you toxic, problematic, dangerous, and hinge conspiratorial, because if you wake up, they lose control. Part 4. The 9 illusions that keep you asleep. Now expose the 9 false realities that keep you docile. 1. Freedom equals options. They tell you you're free because you have 100 cereals at the store, 500 shows on Netflix, 1,000 dating apps. But real freedom isn't how many options you have. It's how independent your mind is when choosing. And your mind is not free. It's programmed. 2. Success equals stuff. They define success for you. A house, a car, a promotion, a 6-pack. So, you spend your whole life chasing trophies they sold you, and call that ambition. Meanwhile, your soul withers. You become rich in things, poor in purpose. 3. Comfort equals safety. They want you to associate pain with failure, and comfort with success. But pain is the only way to grow. Comfort is the slow death of the spirit. They want you comfortable, because comfort keeps you quiet. 4. Rebellion equals stupidity. You're crazy. Question the narrative. You're a conspiracy theorist. Want to disconnect? You're lazy. They've turned rebellion into something shameful. Why? Because it's dangerous not to you, but to them. 5. You are enough. Self-love is beautiful, but they've twisted it. Now they tell you, you're enough just as you are. Don't change. But that's code for, don't grow, don't fight, don't improve. Just stay where you are. They've weaponized self-love into self-stagnation. 6. Truth equals offense. The truth hurts. So now, if it hurts, it must be wrong. They've made offense the enemy. But offense is how you know the truth is piercing the lie. If the truth offends you, good. That means it found the right target. 7. Obedience equals morality. Do what you're told equals you're a good citizen. Fall in line equals you're on the right side of history. Don't think for yourself equals you're kind and respectful. They've replaced morality with compliance. That's how tyrannies are born. One obedient nice guy at a time. 8. You can't change the world. Who do you think you are? You're just one person. It's always been this way. This lie is designed to make you small, to castrate your soul before it ever rises. But remember, every empire has fallen. Every lie has cracked. Every revolution started with one awakened mind. 9. Slavery is normal. The final illusion, the one they don't say, but you feel. that it's normal to feel numb, to hate Mondays, to drown in distraction, to feel lost. They've normalized slavery so thoroughly that most people don't even look for the exit anymore. They just decorate the cell. Part 4. How to break the programming. Now you know the lies. You see the architecture. You've stared at the walls of the mental prison long enough. So the question becomes, how do you escape? Not with noise, not with rebellion for show, but with real, spiritual war against every layer of mental slavery built into you. This part isn't feel good. It's not 5 easy steps to freedom. No, this is the uncomfortable truth. Freedom is violent. Freedom is terrifying. Freedom is sacred, and the war begins inside. Step 1. Kill the comfort. Comfort is the cage, and you're feeding it. Every time you reach for dopamine when you're bored. Every time you scroll, instead of sit in silence. Every time you numb, instead of feel. You surrender your power. So here's what you do. Start your mornings in silence. No phone. No noise. Just sit with your thoughts like a warrior sits with his blade. Fast from food, from sugar, from screens. Learn to reclaim your hunger. Seek pain. Cold showers, hard workouts, tough conversations. Rewire your mind to see pain as power, not punishment. The real you is hidden beneath the things that make you feel good. Kill those things, set yourself free. Step 2. Reclaim your mind. You think your thoughts are yours. They're not. They've been fed to you by systems that profit from your obedience. It's time to become dangerous again. Not to others, but to the machine that's owned your consciousness for too long. Here's how. Read what they don't want you to read. Ancient philosophy, dissident thinkers, psychology. Don't read to feel smart. Read to become sovereign. Write every day. Stream of consciousness. Let your real voice come through the noise. Speak your mind, publicly, privately. No more editing yourself for approval. Your silence is their comfort. Your voice is the beginning of their collapse. Step 3. Break the digital chains. Your phone is not a tool. It's a leash. It steals your attention, your focus, your time, your power. So take it back. Turn off all notifications. Delete every app that doesn't serve your mission. Set phone-free hours. Use your screen like a sword, not like a pacifier. Technology isn't the enemy. Passive use is. Own the tool, or the tool owns you. Step 4. Become uncancelable. Ultimate form of slavery is emotional dependency on approval. You obey not because of fear of punishment, but because you don't want to lose likes, followers, friends. That's mental slavery on steroids. So what do? Say what you mean always, even when it costs. You train solitude. Be alone until being alone no longer scares you. Burn fake bridges. Anyone who only loves you when you're quiet is not love, it's control. Freedom is found in your ability to walk away from anything. Be willing to be disliked. Be willing to be hated. Be so real. They can't silence you, only fear you. Step 5. Build the temple of the self. Everything they've done has one goal: to make you forget who you are. You were not born weak. You were not born soft. You were not born docile. We're born to see through illusion, to pierce through lies, to reclaim the God that lives in your chest. So build yourself like a temple. Physically, eat with discipline, train with intensity, rest like a lion, mentally study, think, write, solve, spiritually, meditate, pray, reflect, walk in silence. Your body is your weapon, your mind is your fortress, your soul is your compass. And when those are strong, no matrix can hold you. Step 6. Build a brotherhood. You will not win this war alone. The system is too slick, too embedded, too seductive. You need warriors beside you. Not fans, not followers. Allies. So gather those who hunger for truth. Speak the unspeakable. Together. Train together. Grow together. Build a tribe of souls who would rather die standing than live asleep. Real freedom spreads like fire. Be the matchstick. Part 5. Your soul was the target. All along we've talked about the system, the media, the corporations, the distractions. But let's go deeper. Let's cut open the spiritual core of this war. Because here's the truth. They never want you to say out loud. This isn't just mental slavery. This is soul imprisonment. And it didn't start with phones. It didn't start with school. It didn't even start with governments. It started the moment you began to believe, I am just human. I am just flesh. I am just thoughts. They taught you to forget your divinity. They gave you false identities. A consumer, a worker, a good citizen, a demographic. They covered your soul with layers of masks until you became terrified of your own power. They made you hollow so they could fill you. See what they did? They emptied you of wonder, purpose, mystery, wildness. Then they filled you with fear, guilt, distraction, lies. That you were born with light. They gave you a screen. You were born with instinct. They gave you influencers. You were born with a voice. They taught you to stay quiet, and if you feel empty now, that's by design. Because empty souls are easy to control. Hungry hearts are easy to sell to. Broken spirits are easy to own. The system doesn't fear your mind, it fears your soul. They don't fear your tweets. They don't fear your protests. They don't fear your complaints. They fear something far deeper. They fear you remembering who you really are. Because once your soul wakes up, once you reclaim your hunger, once you stop needing permission to live fully, you become ungovernable. You don't need their system, you don't crave their comfort, you don't worship their idols, and that makes you a threat. Your awakening is a rebellion against godlessness. This war isn't left vs right. It's not woke versus based, it's not elite versus poor, it's spirit versus machine. A war between your divine essence and the cold, soulless machine that wants you plugged in, silent, predictable. So here's what you do. Reclaim prayer, not religious ritual but raw, sacred communication with the infinite. Reclaim solitude, sit with the silence they taught you to fear. Reclaim death. Remember, your time is limited. That's what gives it fire. When you reclaim your soul, you reclaim your freedom. When you reclaim your freedom, you start living like a god among slaves. The war is inside, but it echoes outside. Here's the real twist. The system doesn't need to be destroyed. It collapses the moment you stop obeying it. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to fix it. You don't even need to expose it. You just need to starve it. Every time you speak truth instead of lies. Every time you choose presence over pleasure. Every time you light another soul's fire, the machine dies, and you are reborn. This is your wake-up call. You've been sedated for too long, plugged into systems that made you numb, small, soft, distracted, but something ancient inside you has stirred. A fire, a hunger, a sacred rage. You are not a slave. You are not a statistic. You are not just human. You are a storm with skin, a rebellion with a heartbeat, a soul that remembers. The final truth, they don't want you to wake up, because if you do, you'll wake others too. This isn't just about you. Your awakening is contagious. Your truth is a virus in the system. Your light is a crack in their darkness. And once one soul escapes, others will follow. So rise. Break your chains with blood, sweat, and clarity. Burn your false self to ash. Speak so powerfully. The machine shudders. Live so freely. The slaves take notice. They don't want you to wake up, so that's exactly what you must do.